Hello, Junior Reign Nation, and welcome to day 14. As we walk through the welcome guide, we are on ingredient number 6 of our what to expect, our 10 ingredients of what to expect during the season. And this is a very innovative concept at the Junior Reign called the age group practice. And what the age group practice is, it's a practice that is, again, focused on the long-term athletic development and growth of every individual player at the place that they're at right now. So the most important things to do for their long-term growth as an 8-year-old, as a 10-year-old, and as a 12-year-old. For example, 10 and 12-year-olds are in the golden age of skill development, skill acquisition, maximum repetitions, maximum practice in skills, right? And it starts to change. It's different at every age group. And we want to make sure that we're not only focused on just team practicing at these age groups, because what we found and what we know science has shown is that the over focus on team systems and team strategy at practices, what it creates is a lot of standing around, not a lot of repetitions, and we see this all over in youth sports. It creates overthinking of players and kind of limiting their creativity and limiting their aggressiveness and blocking them, putting them in specific positions, only doing certain things, which may help initially that weekend to organize a team towards success, but definitely hurts the athlete's long-term growth and potential to become the next level player because they're not maximizing their own individual skill development based on what's most important right now for their age group. Now, at the AA levels and AAA levels, we do have some specific team practices scheduled in strategically to work on some specific things. But even at our AA and AAA levels, the vast majority of all their practice time is based around the age group practice philosophy of developing the skills and capabilities of that specific age group for the player, not for us as a club, not for the team necessarily, but to make the player the best player they can be. And we know that when we make our players better, our teams become better, because the better our players get and the more they can execute those skills and concepts together, then the better our teams are going to be in the short term and definitely in the long term as we develop players at a faster and faster rate than anywhere else. The age group practice also allows us to do some amazing things. It allows the bonding across teams, because what we've seen always, of course, is within one team, there's 2 birth years. Sometimes some kids age up and some kids stay at that age group. And now they play with the kids who was on the BB team are now on the same team as the kid who was on the B team the last year because they were a year younger or whatever it is, or they move up to the A team or the AA team and they play with other kids and they get to know them and the families get to know each other and the coaches get to know each other. So the age group practice allows us to blend and bond as a club across those barriers. It also allows us to do an amazing thing, which is allow players to compete, to practice and train at their local rink without unnecessary travel during the week and do all their training at their local rink and then play on the best appropriate level of team and compete at the appropriate level of team for them on the weekends. So we are able to offer all the levels of play from AAA, AA, A, BB, and B so that players can train at their local rink regardless of the number of players at that particular level at their rink, and train close to home and do their schoolwork and do all those things, which is great, and have friends from their rink, and then compete at the level which is challenging, but they can have success for them. So not too far above their head, but also not below them, so that they continue to compete and strive towards that next level. And designing age group practices allows us to do all those things. And like I said, most importantly, develop the athlete towards their fullest potential for their long-term goals and progress, which helps our teams and our club become stronger and helps us produce the best players in the long term. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.